Hey guys, it's Chrissy. Welcome back to another episode of Plant Curious. Today we are going to be making Jamaican red lentil soup, which is something I often enjoyed as a child. This dish comes together very quickly, and it's also a very cost-effective dish to make. So if you're ever looking for that perfect warming soup for a weekday night in the winter, this is it. This dish is really great because it's easy to make, it's high in protein, and it's absolutely delicious. You can also do all of your favorite mix-ins. For example, today I will be adding in some escarole, which is not traditional, but I think it will really elevate the dish. When working with tuber vegetables, it's very important to flatten the veg. This way you avoid cutting yourself with a knife and can get more even, nice shapes. So I've already cut off the top and bottom end of this sweet potato that I'm using, and I'm just gonna chop off the sides as well. That way I can get a nice dice on the sweet potato for even dispersion throughout the soup. I'm just going in and cleaning up, trying to save as much of the sweet potato as I possibly can. You can see our veg is mostly flattened out on most sides, so now we can actually cut vertically across the vegetable, and we get these nice rectangular shapes. And you can stack them at this point and create batons. Line up the vegetables and chop across, making sure your fingers are protected. And get these cute little cube shapes. We're gonna set our sweet potatoes aside, but that is all the prep required for this recipe, other than, garnishing and chopping our escarole. So I'm gonna go ahead, saute these onions and garlic until translucent, and we'll continue the process at the stove. We're gonna get some olive oil into the pan. I like using a Dutch pot for soups because I think it just does a good job at making sure all of the flavor is imparted. And once that heats up, we'll go ahead and add our onion and garlic. All right, so we're gonna get the onion in and the garlic. And at this time, I'm also gonna add my seasonings. For this dish, it's all about packing a punch of flavor. So, as usual, I'll start with some salt. I use Badia's all-purpose seasoning. Any all-purpose seasoning will work well. It's really just a blend of thyme, oregano, MSG, which I love. It's actually a seaweed derivative, which a lot of people do not know. We're gonna add in some organic oregano. We're gonna add some celery salt, which is typically used in soups and stews. And I know you weren't thinking it, but yeah, we're gonna add some Jamaican curry powder, just a little bit because it's not the main flavor, but it definitely adds value to the dish. Some fresh ground pepper. Last but not least, we're gonna add these allspice berries. It's a very common spice used in Jamaican cooking, and I think just Caribbean cooking. Recently I learned it is also very much used in Scandinavian cuisine as well, which was very interesting. I like to call them reggae balls. You'll wanna let people know at the end. You don't need to use the reggae balls, but it imparts a lot more flavor, and it just tastes a little bit better, I think, than using the ground pimento berries. But you could use the ground if you don't want to accidentally eat those. It's not bad for you or anything. It's just got a strong flavor. And I'm just going to give this a little mix. As always, we have our thyme. So I'm just adding thyme to the dish. We're also gonna add a Scotch bonnet and some bay leaf. I'm just gonna add 2 bay leaves to this. This is a very thick, hearty soup. It's not like a puree of any sorts. I really like the texture of heartier soups like this. It goes really well with bread or crackers. If you can eat avocado, unfortunately I can't, but that tastes really good. Just gonna, last but not least, add our special Scotch bonnet pepper. And all I did was burst that slightly so that it can impart that flavor without being overly spicy. Now let's get our sweet potato into the pot. We want to saute it and give it some flavor as well. A lot of cultures outside of America have a lot of dishes, stews, things like that, that might not look that appetizing, or, you know, what you're used to, maybe seeing lots of greens, reds, and vibrant colors. Some of the colors are more muddied and brown and green, but that doesn't take away from the flavor at all. It's still delicious. You gotta open up your mind, be more open-minded to trying things that look different, to get outside of your comfort zone and discover new flavors. So you'll want to get this mixture up into a boil, just so we can get those lentils cooking. Then we'll cover and simmer for about 35 to 40 minutes, and we'll check every 10 to 20 minutes or so, just to add additional water as needed. So I've got some fresh escarole here. I really like the flavor of it, so we're going to add it in at the end of cooking. I'm just going to chop it into like some little ribbons. And we'll just add that in during like the last 5 minutes of cooking or so. As you can see, it's boiling. The lentils are starting to expand. We can lower the heat and let that simmer for about 25 minutes. You'll know it's ready when it looks like this. Don't mind my hot mitten, but we're about to remove the lid and add in our escarole for the last few minutes of cooking at this time. And you can see the lentils have really cooked down. I'm gonna save a little bit of escarole for topping. It's nice, it's healthy, hearty, and perfect for this weather. At this time, you can remove the bay leaves and the spicy Scotch bonnet pepper and set those aside so that nobody's eating that as part of their soup. I'm also removing any thyme stems that I find. Okay. Can't wait to have some of this. And we just have some chili threads here, which will add a nice pop of heat to our dish. With some garlic, thyme, crackers. let's go ahead and taste this. It's warm, it's rich, it's hearty. The garlic thyme crackers really complement the dish very well. I hope you guys try this, and I'll see you next time.